Welcome, you're watching Head to Head. I'm Antonina Antosha with UATV. On August 29th, Ukrainian Film Days kick off in Toronto, Canada. A selection of Ukrainian feature movies will be screened. Among them is the war thriller Call Sign Banderas. This movie is based on the true stories told by ATO veterans, and it hasn't yet been premiered in Ukrainian movie theaters. To talk more about it, we welcome in our studio today Zaza Buadze. He directed Call Sign Banderas. Hello and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting.
So why is Canada the first to watch the movie about ATO soldiers of Ukraine?
As I know, it's for the second time when they're in Toronto. The Ukrainian Film Days to be held. Last year was the first for the first time, and this year again. It's a good tradition, I guess. So I'm happy to fly to Toronto tomorrow and to present my film there to Toronto audience. And hopefully there will be a lot of Ukrainians.
Well, of course, because Canada traditionally has the biggest Ukrainian diaspora in the world. In general, what's the movie about, apart from the fact that these are stories of ATO veterans?
It is not based on the true events. It's inspired by a diary of ATO veteran, ATO so-called ATO counter-terrorist operation.
Reconnaissance.
How we call this war.
Okay.
Yeah? And it's a fictional story. It's a war detective or action drama, and it takes place. The action takes place in ATO zone in the September of 2014. While
so just at the beginning.
It's only the beginning, yeah. But it's September. There were the peace talks in Minsk and the ceasefire there on the front, and the action takes place then and there. 3 days. Well, these days, the main character, counterintelligent Captain Sayenko, is to find the Russian spy, saboteur, who is preparing, how to say it, who's preparing diversion,
Okay.
in order to disrupt those peace talks in Minsk and to accuse the Ukrainian side. That's very briefly.
To give our audience a clearer view of what we're talking about, we have a trailer we would like to show. Let's watch.
Вони віддали своє життя за вас, навіть не знаючи, хто ви. А ви своїх рятувати не хочете. Стріляти вмієш? Немає часу, Румса, ти чуєш?
Так, підійде.
Що, блін?
Did you film in the ATO precisely? In the conflict zone,
not
on the front line?
We were there, of course. We were there. We had a lot of meetings there in the real ATO zone. But the filming took place near Odessa and Kherson. The places, the locations looking very, very similar.
How did you select the casting crew?
Casting from different towns, from different theaters of Ukraine, and there are a lot of debuts, by the way, introducing about 70% of the actors.
Oh, wow. Who's financing?
Financing?
Yeah.
Mostly from the National Film Agency, State Film Agency.
Are there any private investors?
Private finances too, of course.
Also.
Triada, the company who produced the film, Triada Production.
So when is movie going to be screened in Ukraine?
Very soon.
Is there a set date? Very soon is
October 11th.
October 11th.
Is the releasing date.
Everybody, go watch the new Call Sign Banderas movie in Ukrainian theaters on October 11th. What's your plans for the future?
For the future?
As far as filming and shooting goes.
Oh, I have a new movie in production right now. It is the prequel of Червоний, which was released last year, which was also presented there in Toronto last year.
So it's a good tradition.
No, I hope so. So we have this film now in production.
You're already working on a new project, right?
Yes.
What about this one, Call Sign Banderas? You're going to present it in Canada, then it goes out in Ukraine. What happens next? Do you plan to present it in any other countries abroad? Apart from
hopefully, because it's also a tradition. Next year we presented Червоний in London, in Dubai, in Stockholm, in Prague, etc., etc., etc. Hopefully, they will be the same this year with this movie.
In general, how does international audience perceive movies about the conflict in eastern Ukraine?
I would say that there's a complex understanding of this war. Some people realize very well what is this, and some, it's my experience, just my experience. Some still, I don't know, maybe they are scared. Maybe they're scared. I'm not a politician, that's why I can tell it directly. But again, due to my experience, there is a very, very, very different and very complex getting of this stuff.
But isn't this a good chance to explain to the rest of the world what is actually happening in the east of Ukraine? Because there is so much disinformation, so much propaganda going out of the Kremlin that is hard to tackle.
Hopefully it will be our contribution or our input. Of course, I would like to explain, to give the explanation, what is this? What is this war? Because this war got started for me almost 20 years ago in Georgia. So for me, it is the same war. It started in 1991 and it still continues.
Do you have any movies about Georgia on your account?
Sorry?
Do you have any movies about war in Georgia on your account?
No, not about more war in Georgia.
Do you plan to shoot any?
Who knows? Who knows?
Okay.
I would like to.
We wish you all the luck. Thank you so much for coming and telling us about your new movie, Call Sign Banderas.
Thank you.
That was Zaza Buadze. He is a film director. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned with UATV for the rest.